Okay, picture the scene. It's a secondary school hallway, let's say about 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The air is thick with that specific mix of humidity and just pure teenage angst.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And there's this kid in the back row, awkward, gangly, trying to basically shrink into the furniture. He's physically huge, head and shoulders above everyone else, but socially invisible.
Or worse, a target.
Exactly. Teased for his height, bullied for being quiet, just completely isolated in a room full of people.
That's a really painful place to be for a teenager. The
Yeah.
classic gentle giant paradox.
It is. So now, fast forward to this morning, January 27, 2026. That same kid is now, 1.9 meters of pure muscle. He's starring in that huge Netflix show, Emerald Hill.
In dominating all the headlines.
Right. The banner on StarScope literally reads, "He was bullied. Now he leads Singapore." Or, well, at least he's leading the ratings.
And based on the social media comments, definitely leading the hearts of the nation. It is an incredible transformation.
We are, of course, talking about the meteoric rise of Tyler 10. But this isn't just a fluff piece. Today, we're really dissecting the architecture of that transformation. We're looking at how a bullied kid rebuilds himself into an icon.
And then we're going to get into the messy reality of the Star Search 2024 finalists trying to follow him.
And we'll cap it off with a brutal reality check involving a property mogul and a snow leopard that proves image isn't everything. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Wow, that's a heavy lineup today. You've got the construction of an image with Tyler, then the desperate attempt to build one with the Star Search kids.
And then the total destruction of an image with our real-world news.
Yeah, I'm ready to dive in.
All right, let's start with the construction. Tyler 10. If you just look at him today, he's 29, absolutely shredded. You'd assume he was just born a heartthrob.
Like he just woke up like that one day.
Exactly. But we dug into the archives, specifically this book, The Architecture of Resilience, and a really deep-cut interview from Asia One. And the real story, it's completely different.
It's actually more of a medical story before it's a fitness story, which is what I find so fascinating.
Okay.
In secondary school, Tyler wasn't just skinny. He was a severe ectomorph.
Okay, break that down.
So for anyone not deep into physiology, that's a body type with a ridiculously fast metabolism, the kind of frame that just struggles to put on any mass at all. He hit a growth spurt around age 12 that was so fast, his parents actually took him for medical checkups.
Wait, they thought something was wrong with him?
Right. They were genuinely worried. He just shot up like a beanstalk, getting taller and taller but not wider. The doctors, they didn't prescribe medicine. They prescribed weight training.
No way.
Yeah, and this is the key part. It wasn't for vanity. It was for, structural integrity. He literally had to build a cage of muscle just to support his own skeleton.
That puts all those gym selfies in a totally different light, doesn't it?
Totally.
It started as just survival, but the physical part is only half of it. The psychological toll of being so conspicuous but so vulnerable, it made him withdraw. He became super introverted.
And then, you know what happens when you bottle all that up? The pendulum swings.
The rebellious phase.
Exactly. And this is where that Asia One interview gets really, really specific. Tyler dropped a detail that caught a lot of people off guard. He admitted to receiving a private caning punishment from his parents.
That was the bombshell, right? The thing the tabloids ran with. It sounds intense.
It does. And it brings up that whole debate about discipline versus abuse. But what's fascinating is how Tyler talks about it now. He doesn't frame it as trauma. He calls it a hard reset.
A hard reset.
Yeah. He told the interviewer, and I'm quoting here, "You have to go through this to learn from it." He saw himself going down a bad path, skipping school, wrong crowd. And he felt that intervention, however harsh it sounds to us now, was the jolt he needed.
So in his story, that was the turning point. It gave him discipline, but it didn't give him a direction.
Right. The discipline was the engine, but he still needed a map.
And the map, surprisingly, didn't come from a teacher or a parent. It came from a 2003 Thai martial arts movie.
Ong Bak.
Yes. Tony Jaa.
And it makes perfect psychological sense if you think about it. You have this lanky, isolated teenager watching Tony Jaa, who's not a big guy, physically just dismantling opponents with Muay Thai.
It wasn't just about fighting.
Not at all. It was about precision, control. For a kid who felt awkward in his own body, the gym, Muay Thai, that became his sanctuary.
And that obsession with mechanics, you can see it in his acting now. He treats a script like a gym routine. But here's the irony, what I call the thirst trap paradox.
Okay, I'm listening. So
Women's Weekly, L'Officiel, they've all dubbed him the ultimate physical specimen. The comments on his posts are Well, they're aggressive.
Knock me down, daddy is a frequent flyer.
So very direct. But the personality inside that 1.9-meter frame, he's still that awkward kid in the back of the class. He is terrified of talking to women in public.
It's true. He's actually said he refuses to approach women because he's scared of losing face.
That says so much.
It does. That fear of rejection, it hasn't just disappeared because he has abs now. He spends his free time reading in his room or visiting his grandmother.
Which is just adorable. He even calls his fans supporters because he thinks fan sounds too arrogant. He just treated a bunch of them to lunch at Swenson's.
Swenson's, the ultimate family restaurant.
Just to say thank you. So you have this huge gap between the bad boy he plays on Netflix and the actual good boy he is.
Which makes his current role, and last but not least so, meta. He's playing a teacher, Sue Bombing, leading a class of notoriously unruly students.
Class 501.
He is literally mentoring the younger, rebellious version of himself on screen. He's using that history of bullying, of discipline, to inform the performance. It's not just acting.
It's catharsis, a closed loop. The bullied kid becomes the protector. It's a great story. But if you think Tyler's journey was a struggle, just wait until you hear about the fashion disaster that almost tanked a Star Search finalist's career before it even started.
Oh, this is good.
Because if Tyler is the polished final product, these kids are the raw, messy work in progress.
This next part is a masterclass in what not to do when your future is on the line.
Okay, so we're pivoting to the chaos of Star Search 2024. The headline from CNA Lifestyle was "The Uniqlo Disaster and the Battle for the Center."
Sounds like a reality show title.
It basically was. The top 12 finalists get one simple instruction: dress to impress for a huge photo shoot with the director.
Which is a basic test in this industry, right?
Yeah.
It's not about having expensive clothes. It's about understanding your personal brand. You have to know how to package yourself.
Most of them got it. You know, you saw denim, layers, sharp looks, and then there's Tan Zisheng, the boy from Penang.
Oh, Zisheng.
He missed the memo completely. Yeah. He showed up in what is basically the Singaporean national uniform.
An oversized blue Uniqlo Airism t-shirt.
The fabric of champions, if you're going to a hawker center.
Exactly. It's what you wear to grab chicken rice, not to meet a director who holds your career in their hands. He walked into a room full of peacocks, looking like a pigeon.
It's just a total lack of situational awareness. But what happened next is actually kind of interesting.
Right, because usually in these things, that's when the sharks start circling.
You'd expect them to just let him fail. Right. Thin the herd. But Marcus Sim, the breakdancer, he actually goes into his bag and lends Zisheng a striped top to save him.
A rare moment of camaraderie.
Very rare. But don't let that fool you. The second the photographer yelled group photo, all the nice guy masks just dropped. The report calls it the battle for the center. Jonah Chung and Amy Ang, they didn't even hesitate. They just made a physical beeline for the center spots.
That is the killer instinct. In a group shot, the eye goes to the center. If you're on the edge, you're background. If you're in the middle, you're the lead. It's primal.
And the ones who couldn't get the center, this is where it gets really smart. Jaden Lim and Clement Ang immediately choked or reserved spots on the far edges.
Why would they do that?
Because they knew their angles. They knew which side of their face looks better in the light.
Wow. That's the difference between the rookies and the pros right there. The rookies are just trying to get in the shot. The pros are manipulating the shot to suit them.
It's fascinating, and it spills over into their personal lives, too. We have to talk about the Gladys Singh drama. She made the top 12. Her boyfriend, who auditioned with her, did not.
Oh, the classic A Star is Born setup never ends well.
Well, in 2026, the failed boyfriend doesn't just drink about it. He starts a podcast.
Of course he does.
He goes on air and reveals they broke up. It felt bitter, like he was trying to control her story, but her response, pure PR genius. She just said their life goals weren't aligned anymore.
Which is the polite way of saying, I'm about to be a celebrity and you're going to be talking about me on a podcast. It's brutal, but that's the industry.
It really is survival of the fittest. So we've seen Tyler Ten, who mastered his image. We've seen the Star Search kids fighting to build an image. Now we have to look at how fast an image can be completely destroyed.
Okay, we're moving from the scripted drama to unscripted consequences. This is where it gets messy.
Yeah. We're calling this segment The CEO Affair and the Snow Leopard Attack.
Wow.
Two very different stories, but they both come down to this illusion of safety. Let's start with the property scandal that has the Singapore business world buzzing.
This is about Melvin Lim, the CEO of Property Lim Brothers. And for anyone outside the region, this guy isn't just a real estate agent. He built a media empire. They totally changed real estate marketing with these slick videos.
And his brand was everything. Family man, trustworthy.
Wholesome.
was was the brand. Over the weekend, Asia One reported his name was just scrubbed from the company website, vanished, and the reason? A series of videos leaked online.
And there were not home tours.
No. There
Hmm.
were candid videos of him leaving an office with a female colleague who's alleged to be a senior manager. And suddenly he's facing very public accusations of adultery. He's married with 4 kids.
The speed of that collapse is what's so terrifying. It takes decades to build that kind of reputation and trust.
And less than 48 hours for a smartphone camera to just tear it all down. It's the fragility of the personal brand. But if we want to talk about illusions of safety, we have to go to Xinjiang, China. And I do have to warn you, this story is graphic.
This just happened January 24th. A woman, a tourist at a ski resort, spots a snow leopard.
Which is an apex predator, a literal killing machine.
Elusive, dangerous, and very, very wild.
But we live in this culture where we see nature through a screen, you know? We see these cute Instagram reels and we've Disney-fied wild animals. We think if we're looking at it through a phone, it's just content, it's safe.
So instead of backing away, she decides she wants a close-up for the gram.
The footage that Newslight described is horrifying. It shows the leopard literally laying on top of her. She's just prone in the snow.
It wasn't playing.
No. When the camera cuts, you see her being helped away. Her face is bloodied, wounds streaming down her neck. She survived, but just barely.
It's just this brutal, brutal reminder that nature does not care about your subscriber count.
The camera lens gives you this false sense of invincibility. She thought she was walking a scene, but she didn't realize she was part of the food chain.
It really is the ultimate example of image versus reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
The CEO thought his private reality wouldn't touch his public image.
And the tourist thought the image of the leopard was safer than the reality of the leopard.
And Tyler 10. He spent years building a physical image to protect the vulnerable reality that was still inside him.
It's all connected. We are all curating these versions of ourselves for a Netflix screen, a casting call, a corporate website. But eventually, reality bites back.
Sometimes metaphorically with the CEO, and sometimes, well, literally with the tourist.
That is a sobering thought.
Yeah.
But before we wrap, if your jaw is on the floor after hearing about the snow leopard or the property scandal, you really need to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're tracking all these stories as they develop. Subscribe to StarScope Report so you don't miss the updates on Tyler 10's next role or the fallout from the Star Search finals.
We'll be following that Property Lim Brothers shakeup and, of course, seeing if our Uniqlo boy can survive the next round.
I'm kind of rooting for him, honestly. He needs a win.
We all love an underdog. So here's the question we want to leave you with today. In a world where we can filter and edit and curate almost every part of our lives, how much of what you see on your feed today is a genuine moment, and how much is just a performance waiting for a director to yell, "Cut"?
Something to think about while you scroll.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.